Cloudy today. The sun is peeking through here and there. Got a little bit of blue sky up here. It's pretty warm. I don't know what the temperature is, but it feels nice. Good morning, folks. You know, it's really surprising as much snow as we've had. You know, like I said before, we live in the V of two mountain ranges. We don't get a lot of snow. This year we had a pretty fair amount. Had a foot on the ground out here probably. And for us, that's probably a little above normal. Not a lot, but a little bit. But you get one or two nice days, and this big old ice flow that we had that was so horrible, it's just about gone. Just about. Got a little bit here and there, but it's melting pretty fast. The hillside up here, it's melted off a lot. That's on the sunny slope though. I'm kind of waiting for the flooding down through that side canyon. It'll come right down over here, down along this cliff, and then right on into my trapping shed over there. Before it happens, I probably should root around in there and kind of put stuff to higher ground. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it won't do it. It doesn't do it every year. One bad thing about all this snow melting, I can see all the junk in the yard again. I gotta clean this place up. And the dog poop. Throughout the winter, you know, we clean it up a little bit, but a lot of times it's under the snow and you can't see it. And once it melts, holy crap, what a crap pile. Holy crap, literally. Anyway, Cindy is going to Rags and Wags today. That's that little animal shelter thrift store that she helps at. So I gotta shovel out that rodeo arena with the tractor, and I'm gonna try to tinker on this snow rat a little bit. Probably cut the rest of those garbage barrel cans open. I'm supposed to get those stub axles today sometime from UPS. Yesterday it said they were out for delivery in Idaho Falls. That had me a little bit worried. They never showed up, and today it says out for delivery in Salmon. So that's more like it, because this is where I be. I ain't in Idaho Falls. I don't know. I bought a pop-up tent a few years ago. It's kind of one of those that you're supposed to be able to basically toss into the air, and it sets itself up by the time it hits the ground. Spring-loaded thing. I saw a video on the computer where somebody had made a rooftop tent using one of those. So I wanted to do that, and I bought one, and it made it from back east someplace, New Jersey I think, to Hodgkin, Illinois, and that's as far as it ever got. Somebody there at the UPS station either lost it or got a free tent. But at least the tracking number showed it was never delivered, and eBay actually refunded me my money. Now that's one good thing about buying through them or Amazon. Both of them do that. But I never did get the tent. I kind of wanted that thing. We don't get a lot of chance to go camping, and now that we got this little trailer, we might be able to a little bit more often. But a lot of it is because of the time involved in getting things ready to go. You know, if you had something ready to go all the time and you just go overnight here and there, it would be a lot more fun. Yeah, when everything was under a foot of snow, it didn't look so bad, but now it don't look so good. I gotta clean this mess up. I'm taking some dump runs. That reminds me of a silly joke. This fella had an ad in the newspaper for a mule for sale. And so somebody called him, asked about the mule, and he says, yeah, I still got him for sale. So the guy said, well, where do you live? I'll come and look. So the guy comes out and looks at his mule, and the fella says, he says, I wanted, so much money for it, but I can't sell it for that now. And he says, he just don't look so good. And the guy says, well, he don't look too bad to me. He says, how much you want for him? And so the guy gives him a price, and he goes on home with the mule. Day or two later, he calls him back, and he's mad as can be, and he says, you tricked me. You sold me a blind mule. And he says, I didn't trick you. I told you he don't look so good. Well, first things first, I guess I need to cut open the rest of these barrels and plug the tractor in. It's warm enough out here, it'd probably start. It's easier on it if I plug it in. And go from there. Oh, this thing. I dug this little wheelbarrow out of the dumpster here a few years ago. And, it finally broke. It's all rusted off. Now, we used it here on the fairgrounds for a while, but I think I'm gonna cut the bottom off. Probably save that wheel. That tub. I think that'll make a good hood for my snow rat. Should be about the right size, I think. That didn't take too long. Had a couple of people yesterday comment that you got to be real careful with, cutting on these barrels and things, and they're right. I mean, these had motor oil in them, and motor oil is flammable, but it's not explosive. A few years ago, we had some that had aquatic weed killer in it, and that stuff, I was a little worried about that. That stuff does burn, and contained like that, it could explode. You gotta be pretty careful with it. Darrell Waldron was telling me about about some guy he knew that got a torch too close to a gas tank and blew his kneecap off, which, I mean, it's funny now, but I bet it wasn't at the time. But I told him that back in school, we had a science teacher, and he knew whatever chemicals are in those they look like a pollywog. You throw them and they pop little firecracker thing. You don't light them, you just toss them. I think they're called snap bombs, or it might have been snap pops, something like that. Anyway, he knew whatever those chemicals were, and he was making pretty good size ones for the school haunted house during Halloween, and throwing them at people in the dark, and they were pretty loud. He was making, golf ball size ones. Well, somehow in the dark, he knocked that jar of chemicals over, and it put him in the hospital. We had a different teacher, a substitute for the rest of the year, and he was okay, but I guess he was hurt pretty bad. So, anyway, these are, like I say, these are just motor oil. It's not gonna explode, but it does burn. You gotta be kind of careful. But anyway, I guess tractor's been plugged in long enough. It'll probably start now. I'm gonna go down and plow some snow. I gotta take this plow off. This Black Widow plow, tell you what, it sure does a nice job. But these tines are the weak link in the whole thing. A bunch of them are bent, and one of them broke. I gotta fix those here before we get to using it. That's for another day. And then I gotta unload my new rear axle for the snow rat here. Show this to you here quick. It's got great big brake drums. Should be just perfect for what I need. I hope. I gotta lift it up and spin it and see if it should not be limited slip, but it might be, depending on, you know, there was a custom order to get that. But look at the size of these brake drums. Those are good ones. That ought to turn it. The pumpkin part, the differential part, it's not really big, so it should be hopefully a good one. This came out of a Chevy Tahoe. At first I thought that was limited slip. I looked it up and it says that it could be, but it was a special order if it is. Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. If it does turn out to be, I think I can go in there and take one or two of those little clutch discs out so it doesn't work anymore. I hope. Otherwise, I'm kind of back to square one. Like I said, what is it? Non-typical Racing says that'll work, and he might be right. I don't know, but I don't think it will because of the braking system. But anyway, what a beautiful day! All those clouds melted off or burned off, and look at this blue sky. We got a few clouds and things, but the mountains on a day like this, boy, do they shine. Anyhow, thanks for watching, folks, and see you tomorrow. Bye.